Good morning. Good morning. And welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church in Reston. My name is Mark Sheppard. I'm Vice President of our governing board. Whether you are on Zoom or here with us in the church sanctuary today, we are so glad you have chosen to be with us this morning. No matter how old or young you are, wherever you are on your spiritual journey, however you identify, and whomever you love, know that you are welcome here. Reverend Aileen is off today. Our lay-led service this morning is being conducted by UUCR's Timothy Norton. Timothy has lived in the DC area since 1999 and is a data analyst at the Department of Education. Timothy has volunteered in a variety of roles during his 5 years of membership here at UUCR, including leading the UU The Vote program at our church and performing as a guest musician in several worship services, both as a solo guitarist and as part of the rock band ensemble. Timothy currently serves as the chair of the Social Action and Justice Committee, and in his spare time he enjoys playing the guitar and writing creatively. Thank you, Timothy, for sharing with us this morning. Music director Cynthia Young is also off today, but did plan the music for this morning's service. Alan Kramer is serving in her stead as our hymn leader today. Thank you, Alan. I have a handful of announcements this morning before we begin service. First, the Caring Circle and Adult Enrichment Committee invite you to attend a presentation today about advanced care planning. This event will be held after this morning's service, from 11:30 to 12:30 here in the sanctuary and on Zoom. A representative from Goodwin House will be here to discuss advanced directives and advanced care planning and to share practical resources. Second, I have multiple pages of announcements. Second, the Halloween Carnival will be held next Saturday, October 28th, from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. here at the church, and it is open to the public. This is a great opportunity to have fun and let our neighbors know about UUCR. We're looking for volunteers. Please check out the sign-up sheet in the East Foyer. Third, Reverend Aileen asked me to pass along that we will be doing an ancestor altar for next Sunday's service. She has asked you to please bring a picture or object that reminds you of a loved one who has died to add to the altar. Fourth, UUCR is holding a newcomer orientation 2 Saturdays from now on November 4th at 9:30 a.m. here at the church. If you are brand new or newish to UUCR and have questions about our church or about Unitarian Universalism, we hope you will join us for this brief and informative event. Reverend Aileen and UUCR leaders will host, breakfast snacks will be provided, and childcare will be available. For questions or to RSVP, please contact membership co-chair Kathy Delianis. She's in the back waving. Thank you, Kathy. Last but not least, the auction is less than 3 weeks away. Please join us for the annual UUCR auction on Saturday, November 11th at 6:30 p.m. It will be held in person with online options so that everyone can participate. Childcare, again, will be available. And the online catalog is open for donations and early bids. Please stop by the East Foyer after worship to purchase your raffle tickets for the beautiful Caring Circle quilt. I'm going to say it until I get it right. Quilt. The auction team will also be very happy to answer any questions that you have.
Let me know if you've got questions. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Lori. Now let us center ourselves for worship. Please take some deep, quieting breaths with me as we enter our time of worship together by listening to Diane as she plays this morning's prelude.
Thank you, Diane. The opening words today are from Dorothy Day, an activist for the poor, hungry, and homeless, who co-founded the Catholic Worker Movement. What we would like to do is to change the world, make it a little simpler for people to feed, clothe, and shelter themselves by fighting for better conditions, by crying out unceasingly for the rights of the workers, the poor, of the destitute. We can, to a certain extent, change the world. We can work for the oasis, the little cell of joy and peace in a harried world. We can throw our pebble in the pond and be confident that its ever-widening circle will reach around the world.
Tall people. Our opening hymn is Spirit of Life, number 123. Please rise in body and or spirit and join us. Spirit of life,
Good morning. My name is Andre Comiskey, or you can call me Lesley Tyson, up to you, as in the program. Our chalice lighting words this morning are by Pat Uribe Lichty, a member of the First Unitarian Universalist Church of Berks County in Pennsylvania. Pat volunteers as a math tutor in her local community college's GED program. During her decades in New York City, she was a community organizer and gay rights activist. Her chalice lighting words are titled, Who We Are Called to Be. Our chalice is a reminder that in hard times, our ancestors in faith acted with courage to bring hope and safety, to bring life itself, to threaten people. We light it this morning as a reminder of who we are called to be in a world still dangerous and despairing. With courage and faith, we bring ourselves to the work before us.
We have a tradition here at UUCR of singing our affirmation. We're going to sit while we do this, but please join in if you can. For those of you who are new to the church, this is our gift to you from the community that we are part of. Thank you. The words should be up here on the board.
Together the time for all ages. So if you're feeling young of body or young of spirit, I see there's room on the floor. There might be a couple of seats up front, but it's wonderful to see so many faces today. Welcome, welcome, whether you're here in person or online. Many Unitarians, Universalists, and UUs have acted on their values of justice and fairness, including adults and children right here today. Our story is about one Unitarian who lived during the 1800s and made a difference by recognizing and righting a wrong that many other people didn't see. The story is adapted from one by Charlene Brotman and Barbara Marshfield. Henry Berg was a rich man. He liked to wear tall silk hats and fancy vests. When he was 50 years old, Abraham Lincoln sent him to Russia to be a diplomat, which means to represent the US in that country. One day, he saw a person beating a horse. Now, what do you think, whipping it? What do you think that, how would you feel about that? Yeah.
You'd probably feel upset.
Upset? Yeah.
You'd probably feel, like, why is that person hurting this horse?
Why? Upset and wondering why. Yes. Well, we'll have chances later, okay? And yes, he was upset. And he went to a police officer and said, "Stop this person from being so cruel." And the police officer said, "I can't do anything about it. He owns the horse and could do anything with it he wants." That was the laws in Russia at the time. Henry was very upset, and he kept thinking about this. And he remembered that the laws in the United States at the time were pretty much the same. He thought about what he had seen in the US. Overworked and beaten horses, dog pits where people bet on which dog would kill another, fights to the death between roosters or between bulldogs and bears, and pigeon shoots in which people shot birds just for fun. That was pretty bad, wasn't it? Yeah, that's what Berg thought. So he resigned. He actually quit his post in Russia and went to England to learn about the Royal Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals. There, he realized and learned that the organization had the power to stop people from abusing animals, and he realized he could start a similar organization in the US. So he did just that. He started the American Society for the Prevention of the Cruelty to Animals, the ASPCA, which still exists today. Berg helped New York State pass a law making the abuse of animals illegal. But he didn't stop there. As president of the ASPCA, the city and state of New York gave him the power to arrest and take people to court. Soon, he seemed to be everywhere. He was investigating cruelty, closing down dog pits and rooster fights, making dairy farmers clean up their barns. But a lot of people were angry. They called him mean names. They drew nasty cartoons about him, sent him threatening letters with skulls and crossbones, and some people even threw fish heads and chicken guts at him. That's pretty yucky, isn't it? And would you keep on going if people did that? Yes? Well, that's what Henry Berg did. He did not stop. And one day, he learned about the case of a young girl who was being treated cruelly. And with the help of others, he rescued her and then started the New York Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Children. And that was the first organization ever to protect children. Isn't that amazing that that hadn't happened before? Well, now there are laws, organizations, and volunteers who protect children and animals. So, I wonder whether or not you agree with Henry Berg that social justice and moral responsibility, or doing the right thing, extends to the way we treat animals. Yeah, probably. And I also wonder if there is any injustice or unfairness that you've seen around us now that you would like to change. Can you think of anything? Yes.
Not to be cruel to people with different beliefs.
Oh, not to be cruel to people with disabilities. Yes.
Different beliefs.
Or different beliefs? Ah.
Like if you think that something is true and someone else thinks that something else is true, you shouldn't be mean to each other just because of that.
Okay. Not being mean to people because of different beliefs. Yes.
Yes, people's opinions.
Thank you. Yeah.
In Thailand, they don't really fight that much or use their voice that much loud out, and I think our world should try to keep calm when somebody gets angry at you and try to be nice to them.
We should all keep calm, use our voices instead of fighting. Yes. Anything else? Well, I imagine today we'll be hearing a lot of ideas, and I look forward to hearing more from the children in religious education. So we will now sing anyone in 6th grade or under, or anyone who would like to join them in 12th grade or below, as we build birdhouses in religious education. We'll sing them out now with Go With Joy.
Now is the time in our service when we share our joys and concerns so that no one has to hold them alone. If you are joining us remotely this morning, you may wish to light a real or virtual candle wherever you are to mark what is in your heart. As members of the in-person congregation, place stones in the water here in the sanctuary. If those of you at home would like to share what is on your heart today, in the congregational chat on the screen, please write to all attendees, and please remember that what you share will be public. Those at home may then read other joys and concerns shared in the chat and then enter into your own time of reflection and prayer as we all listen to Diane play our meditation music.
Let us be one in prayer and meditation. Spirit of life and love that so faithfully animates our creation, we are grateful for this community that is with us in both times of joy and sorrow. We hold in our hearts this morning all who are facing any hardship or difficulty, those who are grieving or facing illness or disability in themselves or friends or loved ones. In particular this morning, we hold in our hearts and prayers the people affected by the conflict in Israel and Gaza. Please remember that if you are grieving, mourning, or suffering from the many things of life, there are still good times ahead, and when you experience joy, please live these moments to the fullest.
As a self-funded church, UUCR relies on the generosity of its members and friends to fund daily operations and to ensure that the church and its resources are here for us and for others, now and in the future. Pledges support our worship and music programs, our religious education program, programs for members and friends, community outreach, and connections to Unitarian Universalism. We now invite you to support the work of UU Ruston by making your donation to the collection plate if you are here in the sanctuary, or at the link in the slide and in the chat box, or if you are with us on Zoom. Thank you for your generosity and your support of our beloved spiritual home.
Will you be with me? Will you see me through when the world
I began as an activist in the early 1980s as a child of 5 who marched alongside my mother, father, and brother in the Bread Not Bombs March in New York City in 1982 against nuclear weapons and war. I was a member of UNICEF, sold postcards for the United Nations Children's Fund, and participated in a local anti-war parade. I grew up in a town along the Hudson River in New York where Pete Seeger's boat, the Clearwater, often made a stop to teach young people about the health of the river and the importance of conservation. As a family, we participated in the Hudson Clearwater Revival, which was founded by Pete Seeger and was held in my town each year, where he often performed. When I was in middle school in 1988, we were taught by our 7th grade science teacher that carbon dioxide traps heat in the atmosphere, and carbon dioxide is released from the burning of fossil fuels. It was a very close-knit, progressive community. As I grew up, I have always had a strong sense of what I believed were right and wrong. After college, I took part in the March Against the Iraq War, and more recently, I have gone to the Women's March on Washington, the March for Science in 2017, and the March for Our Lives in 2018, as many other peoples of this congregation. When I spoke to people about important issues, I often noticed that many of the people I spoke to complained about the problems within society, but very few did anything about it. I decided that if there was something happening in society that I believed was wrong, I should do something about it. I've supported international volunteerism and raised money and taught classes for the National Alliance on Mental Illness. Now I feel I have a duty as a citizen of the U.S. to stand up for what I believe and work towards creating a better future society. Psychologically, it has been beneficial for me to help others and work on issues I care about. I realize I am not powerless to what is happening around me. If I didn't work on what I believed in, I believe I would be less able to function as a part of society. When I worked as a part of the Social Action and Justice Committee, starting with doing things like volunteering at the closet, supporting Afghan refugees, and eventually working on getting out the vote, I felt that this gave me an opportunity to do something about the issues I cared about, which was not just good for the people I was trying to help, but for me as well. I felt I had a tangible effect on helping people vote for the issues they see as important and participate in a democracy. I have received a lot of encouragement and support for the social action and justice work I've done for UUCR from many members of the congregation. Often, it may seem like society and its institutions are stacked too heavily against the average citizen, but try to remember that many of these institutions make a positive difference in the world and are led by average citizens that want to make a positive difference in the world. For the young people who may feel overwhelmed by the state of things, please know that the United States as it is today was made this way because of the movements begun by people when they were young. Many of the founding fathers of the United States were younger than 40 when the United States declared its independence on July 4th, 1776. This included Thomas Jefferson at age 33, and several were in their 20s, including Alexander Hamilton at 21, James Madison at 25, and the fifth president, James Monroe, was 18. If you see events progressing like dominoes, falling one after another towards a particular fate, I believe it is possible to stop them from falling and change the course towards a different future. In the past, Unitarians and Universalists, from where Unitarian Universalists draw many of their principles, contributed to voting rights, abolitionism, feminism, education, equality, and other social justice issues. Drawing on the service from October 1st by Reverend Aileen, early Unitarians were very active in the social justice movements of the 1800s, and we continue to this day. The Unitarian Universalist Association currently has an office in the United Nations, and the UUA opinions are highly regarded internationally. The early transcendentalist writings from Emerson and Thoreau and others often talk about the connection between the large and the small, such as the connection of a passing train that runs on coal from the Midwest that picks up grain delivered from farms, carries it to the cities that receive the phone, that are delivered to shops that sell the food, to give the store owners an income that they can buy shoes that were made in factories from cities miles away. The amazement of the interconnection of each person with every other was intrinsic to transcendentalist thought. Using this type of reasoning, even if we don't run a huge organization or hold a position of great power, we can still know that the actions we take do have an effect, as each action we do is in some way connected to every other. UUCR also has a list of social justice heroes. Since 1970, when UUCR became a church, members helped nearby poor and underserved communities with food and other essentials, taught English as a second language to local students, eventually having some of them achieve their goal of the American dream. There have been work on women's rights, helping refugees and asylum seekers gain citizenship, supporting racial justice and equal rights, and many other causes. Supporting social action and justice follows closely with UU principles and values, such as the inherent worth and dignity of every human being and the goal of world community with peace, justice for all. UUCR recently adopted the 8th principle, which includes our actions that accountably dismantle racism and other oppressions in ourselves and institutions. In the UUCR covenant that we sing together each week, highlights our prayer as service. I understand this to be service for a higher cause, and UUCR provides many opportunities to serve a higher cause. UUCR has several social action and justice subcommittees that work on many initiatives in our community, and we also have many resources to support our work. We also work with several community organizations to support issues that members of our congregation care about. As a 501c3 organization, UUCR cannot participate in any political activity. All initiatives and organizations we work with are nonpartisan. Each subcommittee and affiliated organization is listed on the insert in today's order of service. You should each have a copy. If you are not joining us in the sanctuary, you can find the flyer on the UUCR website under the heading Social Action and Justice. I want to highlight some of the participation of UUCR members in events that members have cared about in the following slides. Should be able to see this slide. This is a slide from the March for Our Lives in 2018. So a group of people went to the, marched in DC to protest the gun violence in Parkland High School. The next slide, this is the entire group that went to the March for Our Lives. This picture is from the Women's March in January 2018. We made signs at church, made pink hats, and bused members of the community to the march. This is a picture of the alternative gift market. It is a hugely successful event each year and has raised over $500,000 in its 23-year history. This is also the alternative gift market. The next one is a picture from Nova Pride event. The woman in the middle is Danica Rome, the first open transgender representative in Virginia. The next one is, so this is from the first Reston Pride event in 2018, and that event continues to this day. It was started by a previous minister, Reverend Deborah, and it was very successful. The next one is, this is also from Reston Pride, and the next one, so that's what I think that's the group that made Reston Pride possible. So all of those people worked on Reston Pride. And the next one, so this is people that attended Unity Day in Charlottesville a year after an extremist killed somebody who was protesting the Unite the Right March in Charlottesville. And I believe that's the end of the slides. After the service, you can add your name on a sign-up list for the Social Action and Justice Committee, or if you prefer, you can email the chairs of the subcommittee and organizational representatives shown on the insert for today's service. Feel free to ask for more information on social action and justice after the service in the foyer. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to promote social action and justice at UUCR, and I hope you find a way to volunteer or support an initiative that is aligned with your interests and values. Thank you to the many contributors to the service from across the congregation.
We're now going to sing in the teal hymnal 1018, Come and Go With Me. You notice Diane said to point out to you, we're going to swing with this one, which means instead of singing every note just the way it is, we're going to get down a little bit and let things flow. So please stand with us in body and spirit, and don't forget to be swinging while you're singing.
Come and go with me to
For the closing words, I'd like to read a poem I wrote several years ago. It's called The City on the Horizon. It was convenient to take down the tree, 73 rings from its heart to its bark, taking root when my grandmother was young. There was not much time for mourning as I chopped the wood when the following winter came. Now it is in the fireplace. The tree crackles and coughs into the humidified air. It is easy to burn the tree, leaving behind only ashes. It is nice to have warm water, the kind so pure it sucks the chemicals out of my body that accumulate there like sediment along the curves of a river. I wake every morning and shower with the loyal water. It flows from the spigot to the drain in a few seconds for about 10 minutes at a time. And it is as if I have been baptized. I am deaf to the rhythm of a leaky faucet, which is like an overused drum beat on the radio. It is easy to do these things, but it is hard to know. The forests are burning, the ice caps are melting, the rivers are overflowing, the deserts are growing, a child just died of disease, another just died of hunger, war never ends. On the beaches of Normandy, where generations were destroyed, what decided the course of a bullet fired from a manic machine gun as it ended one life and let another's continue? In a plane flying 1,000 feet above London, what directed the bombs as they fell like raindrops and leveled the city? Our fates determined by location. It is easy to write this poem, and it is hard to listen to my own voice. I close my eyes to shut it all out, and when I do, I can hear a faint whisper. There is a place ahead as certain as the next city shining on the horizon. If we all listen hard enough, it will roar. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. We now extinguish this flame. But not the light of hope and truth, the warmth of community, nor the fire of commitment. These we carry forth in our hearts until we are together again.
In a world that's trying to No, I won't back down.
Good closing song, nice choice. Thanks, and thank you, Timothy, for sharing with us this morning. We invite our congregants to join us for coffee and tea, and fellowship. Those attending worship on Zoom can join us for our virtual Greet Your Neighbor coffee hour to discuss the service theme and enjoy fellowship with other congregants. The link is in the chat box and will be on a forthcoming slide. We hope you will use the chat box as a virtual receiving line to leave a message about your appreciation for the worship service. For folks who are here with us in the sanctuary, just a reminder, please stop by the East Foyer to chat about social action and justice with Timothy and other members of the social action and justice team. Pick up flyers, see how you can support the important work we are doing to create a just and equitable world. And again, a reminder that the Advanced Care Planning Workshop will be here in the sanctuary beginning at 11:30. If there are folks on Zoom who wish to attend, that link will also be shared in the chat box, and you can find it in the worship reminder email that was sent on Friday. Thank you all for coming. I hope we have a great day.